Previously on and 5678 the podcast.
What really got me into dance, really, I started watching ABDC. I don't know if
I'm glad you said that because you don't hear people say that often.
you never want to get to a place as a choreographer where you're
Best work.
predictable.
Like when you do it because it feels good to you, or you do it because it moved you or inspired you in some kind of way, that's when it becomes the best work because you're putting forth your most authentic self, as we said. And that's really all that matters, especially when it comes to showing people who you are through your work.
You're tuned into in 5678 the podcast with Vibes by Bray, only on YouTube, broadcasted by Riverside.fm.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest walls that I had to kind of break down for myself, was just getting
Mhm.
past who approves and who doesn't, because I had to really tell myself it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you got that idea for a reason. You don't know who that idea was meant for. And
Mm.
um yeah, I feel like when it comes down to being a creative in like the secular industry and then also being a believer, that's I feel like that's just a common battle for a lot of us, because it's just like, oh my gosh, does God approve this? Or like,
Exactly.
am I gonna go to hell if I post this? Like,
Yeah, because I also grew up in a Christian household. My mom is actually a pastor, so that's something
mhm,
that I battle with because she doesn't. At one, she's a pastor, and I have an older parent, so
mhm,
she doesn't quite understand it. So
mhm.
she sees certain things and she's like side eyeing it, and I'm like, this is my art, this is my craft.
Like
But I
there's
definitely, I definitely get it. It's like a tug of war, so I definitely resonate with that a lot.
there's often times where I'll go to show my mom. Also, my mom really supports me a lot. Like she's probably been one of my biggest supporters. But there's often times where I'll like show her something that I probably had an idea to do, or it could be like remotely risky, and I'll be like showing her. I'll be like, "Is this?" And she'll just be
Uh,
like, and I'll be like, "That's not giving me anything here, girl." But okay.
no, for real.
Yeah.
So let me ask you another question. How do you handle creative blocks?
Oh, I actually just got out of one. That's a really good question. Um,
Okay.
I was in one the beginning of this year, and I have to honestly, going back to faith, I have to believe that my faith actually is what kind of got me out of it. Because when I was going through that block, I was also kind of getting back closer to God with my relationship, and just really committing myself to Him a little bit more. And I started listening to a lot of Christian R&B and Christian rap and like stuff like that. Well, I'm not gonna say Christian, but just R&B, gospel, gospel music,
Right.
but like more like hip hop versions and just
Hmm.
more like modern versions of it. And I was like, these songs is really kind of bumping actually. And next thing you know, like there was a song that I came across. It was called "Firm Foundation" by Maverick City featuring Wande, and yeah, when I heard that song, it really just spoke to me and where I was at in my life, and I just started having like a vision of this piece with me and a bunch of friends. And I feel like that was really just kind of like my breaking point for that. Like once me creating that really kind of pulled me out of that. But I have to say, I just think that Christian music in general, Christian hip hop and Christian R&B music, really kind of helped me out of that, because I think that block was probably happening because I was at a place where I wasn't even really sure who I was anymore.
Mm.
Um, so I think the root of getting out of the block would be to figure out how you got there. Like what do you feel like you're missing that caused you to get into that block? You know what I'm saying? Because the block only comes when when you just feel empty. Like my block came because I started feeling like there was nothing out here to pull from. There was all of this like like the female hip hop women were taking over, but it was all ass and coochie and sex and drugs and just like nothing positive or just nothing, just very much just speaking other than that. So I was just like, okay, I mean, some of the songs are bad, but I don't want to create to that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this can't be the only music that's coming out right now. Like, this can't possibly be it. Like, there was literally a good minute where it was just that was coming out. And I just felt like I'm tired of hearing this. I don't I don't want to create to this. Like, I need something else to pull from. And there was just nothing else for me to pull from. So once I figured out what that was and I started listening to Christian hip hop, I was like, okay, we need more something. We need something like, let me be that person. Let me put something out to this because let's flip this back around because that can't be it. Like,
Right.
that's the only
People are
message.
asleep on the Christian hip hop though, because one day Maverick
I can't
City, like,
see.
yeah. And when you drop that visual, I was gagging. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm a fan of your work anyway. But when
Yeah.
you put that out, like you said, nobody is doing that.
Nobody's doing that. And it wasn't something that I put out because nobody was doing it. It was something that I put out because I felt like there was a lack of something in the community, which was causing me to
Mm-hmm.
not want to create. And I didn't like that because I'm quite literally a creator. So, being that this community is lacking something, it was me. What are we missing? What are we missing? So when I got the idea to do that, it was just quite literally that was just something that really spoke to me. It kind of just brought life back to me. Like the song really just helped bring a little bit more, just like, okay, maybe I can still choreograph something. Like,
Yeah.
like there was a hot minute where I would literally just be at home with my headphones in or just listening to music, trying to even freestyle, and I just couldn't. Like I would just be there, like songs that would typically be easy for me to do something to.
Still
Easy.
struggling.
Still just standing there, just like nothing's happening. Nothing. Can't choreograph, can't freestyle, just standing there. And that would just happen for a minute. And then once I found that song and I put that video out, it seemed like there was other songs that I started finding after that that wasn't necessarily gospel. It was a little bit easier. From that point, I started finding more meaningful songs. And
Mm.
I think just finding those songs and creating to those songs are what really brought me out of that. And I think that also taught me the type of creative that I am too, and what I would choreograph to and what I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Or dance to as well. What I would dance to and what I wouldn't. So yeah,
Okay.
that was really drawn out. Sorry, y'all.
No, you fine. You fine. Would you say that there is a person or something that you draw your inspiration from to choreograph? Like who or what inspires
Ooh, honestly, there's a lot. I watch a lot of I have a lot of favorites choreographically, but I wouldn't say any person
you? Hmm.
necessarily inspires me to create. I would say the music itself
Okay.
more so is my inspiration. Because me and music are like this.
As it should be.
Like when I listen to music, I feel like I'm literally floating around in the tunes. So I don't think there's really a person, but music for sure. The song, like whatever style of music it is, that has that will move me before me watching someone's video or vision would, if that makes sense.
Okay. Now, what kind of impact do you want to make in the dance world with your work?
Ugh, as the underdog, I just want to show that I really want to show people that you really can make it by not compromising, by
Mm.
really just being who you are all the like through and through. You don't have to be fake. You don't have to try to fit in. You don't have to change anything about yourself to make it. Like we have so many status quos in our industry, to say the least. People think you should look like this. You should look this way. You should move this way, or just people think that you have to be this, that, and the third to make it. But it's just like no. You don't. I want to be that example that you literally can make it by just simply being you in consistency. Definitely have to be consistent. um,
Definitely.
I really want to just overall really just be an inspiration to people. I want people to always feel some type of emotion when they see my work, whether it's a serious piece or a happy piece or a sad piece. I want it to touch people in whatever way that is needed to touch them. Like I don't just want to be out here just creating pieces and people be like, "Oh, that was so good." Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Well,
like
I
I
can
want
speak for me. I feel that way about your work. Every time I see something, I'm like, what is she gonna do next? Because I'm like, I'm just so inspired by you.
yes.
Because I just recently moved into creating more. I
Mm-hmm.
started dancing, of course. But then recently I'm like, no, I don't want to dance. I want to create. That's what I want to do. So when I see people who I've been around and trained with and see their growth, it definitely inspires me to keep going because I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
yep, I know I could do this. AJ's doing this. She's killing it. She's putting out quality work, dope work. And
Mm-hmm.
even from like, even I don't know what your thought process is, but even from like your costuming, from the people that you pick, your brain, the formations, the visuals of everything, like you literally, like you said, it's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And that inspires me. And I'm pretty sure that you're out here inspiring other people, which is why I wanted to bring you on here.
Yes. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
no
That's
problem.
literally like my biggest goal. Oh, sorry, just circling back. I can actually enter some of my biggest inspirations creatively rather than
Mhm,
choreographically. I really look up to like just production. I
mhm.
love a good production.
Absolutely.
Like the Savage Fenty shows, I love those. Like I love stuff like that. Beyonce, I love just she brings production. Janet, Michael, like people like that. Well, let me let me calm down. Chris Brown, even those
Yeah.
like that. Just Victoria Monet, like people Normani. It can go on and on. People like
Right.
that. People that don't just dance or just put on the show. Like you actually come with production. I feel like that's what our industry is lacking now. Like watching the BET. Should I say that?
No, it's fine. No, this is why we're here. Like, it's fine. This is a safe space for dancers because we don't talk about it often.
Yikes.
But no, no, but that's real though,
Yeah,
because
like watching
the
TV, you don't see it anymore.
it
It's just
it
like,
has not
what
been the
is
same.
this? What is this? I don't know
Like,
if the budgets have just gone down or what, but it's just like nobody is coming with production anymore.
that's
Like
real.
Doja Cat and Victoria Monet currently, probably Normani, but you know Normani, she's about to come out with the album and stuff now. But just like outside of those two specifically, I haven't really seen anybody really just put some thought into it outside of the K-pop girls. Girls,
Hmm.
K-pop girls are eating us.
They're killing it. They
They're
they eat
eating
it
us
up.
up. Okay, the K-pop girlies and just not even K-pop, just anybody overseas, they're eating us up
Yeah.
like effortlessly. And it's just like we need that back. Like I don't know where it went, how we got there. I feel like artist development needs to be brought back. I feel like um, people don't cherish rehearsal time.
Hmm.
Like I feel like a lot people don't like rehearsal anymore, and rehearsal is literally where people became who they are. Like the people that do carry that standard of legendary.
Right.
um, I feel like that's where they became great because they appreciated rehearsal. They appreciated artist development. They appreciated actually doing the work, not just showing up to one rehearsal and then hopping on stage.
Yeah.
No, you got to be at rehearsal. You got to be at sound check. Like everything matters. Like literally everything matters. And I think that's really what is happening. Because even with my peers, I have peers, even some peers that I use in my own pieces. People will complain if you have to add an extra rehearsal, or people will complain if you're in rehearsal for longer than 2 or 3 hours. And it's just like, but y'all said y'all want to do this as a career. Ooh,
Do you? Do
yikes.
you?
I don't think you do because This little 2 hour rehearsal is nothing compared to Beyonce. What did Beyonce? They was in rehearsal for what, 16 hours
Yeah,
for Coachella for like 8 months. Like, I don't think, I don't think you really want to do this for real.
right.
But
And
you
I
have
think
Lorianne. Where's Lorianne? Where's Lorianne?
okay,
Like,
and I think as a creative, um, I feel like one issue that I ran into was that people complaining about rehearsals, but it's like
mhm,
if I was Beyonce, if I was Chris Brown, give me that
mhm,
same respect. Don't wait until I become that. I
right.
want that now because that's one that's going to prepare you for the gigs you want and that's going to prepare me for when I get to where I'm trying to be. But
Mhm,
I feel like when we use our peers and stuff, it's nothing wrong with that because I use my peers too. But it's like almost as if there's no line of separation. They just see AJ, they see Braven, they don't see the professional, the creative, the creative director. They don't see that, which
mhm,
kind of sucks. But like show y'all
mhm.
friends respect when
Yeah,
they perfecting their craft, y'all.
for
That's
sure.
important.
I I give so many speeches in my
Mm-hmm.
rehearsals about that specifically. Like for my club move piece, this recent piece,
Mm-hmm.
I told them a few times. First of all, can I just say that piece alone, like putting that piece together, was probably the most complicated process I've had ever out of
Mm-hmm.
everything that I've ever choreographed. Um, it was a lot of cast changes. We only had 5 rehearsals, mind
Ooh.
you. Five.
I've been
So
keeping up with the stories on Instagram. I've been keeping up.
man, we had 5 rehearsals. So like we had a lot of cast changes. Like it seemed like every rehearsal there was somebody coming in and out. Like I had
Mm-hmm.
to replace somebody because in Atlanta right now there's a lot of stuff booking like tours and just jobs in general. So like
Mm-hmm.
people are booking and are no longer available, and so like just going through that. But it also plays a toll on the people that aren't getting booked and are at all of those rehearsals because they now have to be a part of, here we go, having to catch a new person up yet again, like
Yeah.
like. And so I really had to just tell them, for one, you always want to represent yourself as your brand no matter where you are, because you just never know who you're in the room with, and you never
Exactly.
know who that person is going to be. And you would hate for that person to blow up and you get left behind because you didn't respect the opportunity when you had it while they were a little person still. Like, I don't know who I'm going to be. I believe that I'm going to go far, but I still don't know to what capacity that's going to be.
Exactly.
And I don't know who they're going to be. They'll probably be as big as Beyonce one day for all I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I respect you as an artist, so I expect the same from you in return. And I always tell them, I didn't force you to do this. All I did was ask. You had everything. You had every right to say yes or no. So
Right.
being that you said yes, even if this isn't a paid project, if this is a passion project, being that you said yes, you should respect the opportunity as if it is a paid project because you were the one that committed to it. I did not force you. I did not even beg. Like, I literally just asked and you said yes. And I think people forget that. Like, I didn't force you to do this. You said yes. So why are you giving me attitude because I'm requesting you to be here? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Nah, I
it's
definitely feel that. Nah.
yeah, it's definitely a common issue, but I think it's just also has to do with etiquette. Um, etiquette just hasn't been practiced as much as it used to be.
Or
Um,
taught.
that too, practice or taught. So, and I hate to say it, but I think another thing is too, when I first started dancing, there were a lot of OGs that were actually still taking class. So like people that were booking, they were still taking class. And I don't know if that just has to do with the switch in teachers and they
Mm-hmm.
just don't vibe with the new teachers, so they just rather not take class or whatever. But I feel like that helped equip us new people coming in just to be more prepared for those jobs because
Because we had an example.
we had an example and
Yeah.
they would not slack on us. Like they would be like, "Girl, what is you doing? Like, why does your hair look like that? Or why are you dressed like that? Or you need to pull up."
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had somebody really just on us to, you said you want to do this, so this you need to pull up. Like,
Right.
stop playing with yourself, but stop playing. You spent money on this. Stop playing with your time. You
Exactly.
so I think we're just missing just that portion of the community, having people in class that are on these jobs that we can look up to. Um, yeah, it's just a lot of changes. I'm pretty sure COVID had a lot to do with that, but
Mhm.
a lot of adjusting and just having to, as a community, figure it out all over again. And people, another thing I found out people don't like being corrected. So like one of the things that I deal with in my rehearsals, mind you, I'm probably one of the nicest people out here, probably too nice sometimes when it comes down to my pieces. I usually, because I want to create a very just relaxed environment when it comes
Mhm.
down to like my rehearsals. I don't want anybody to feel like stressed coming in rehearsal. I want you to actually enjoy the process versus dreading coming to my rehearsal. Like I would hate for you to be sitting in your car like I'm actually dreading going to this. Like
Right.
I don't want anybody to feel that way. But I feel like because I'm like that, when I do become a little more strict, like when it's crunch time and it's time to clean stuff up, and you have to be a little more stern or strict with people, and they ain't get that from you since day one, so they don't know how
Yeah.
to take it.
They don't know how
Um,
to take it.
so it's just like if Lorianne was in here, y'all would crumble, crumble, honey, because y'all can't even take me telling you, okay, again, that wasn't it. Nope, again, let's do it again. We're gonna keep doing it until we do it right. You can't even take me hand. She's full blown screaming in people's faces,
Right.
like, and you're calling me mean.
Yeah, from one choreographer to another, it's good to hear that because I'm not gonna say I thought I was the only one, but I thought I was the only one. You know what I'm saying? When I'm in my rehearsals for stuff and I'm just like, because I feel like I'm super nice too. And then when I come in, like, nope, that was wrong, do it again. Nope, from the top, da da da. They're not used to that. So everybody's like, why you
Right,
being an
everybody's
asshole? Why
taken
you being?
back.
And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not me. Y'all know that's not me. I'm just trying to have a good piece. That's it.
Like, I'm trying to make sure you look good. You don't want to get to
Right.
do this, not me. Like, honey,
But
yeah.
do you have any advice for someone that may be watching that wants to create, wants to be a choreographer and just may not, know what to do?
Ooh, don't self sabotage. If you have the idea, just put it out.
Hmm.
I have a lot of friends that are so dope and dope not just as dancers but choreographers, but they don't put their work out because they second guess their own creativity a lot of times. Imposter syndrome, imposter, imposter syndrome is real, but don't let that overtake you. Um, Stay true to who you are. I said a lot of this already. I feel
Yeah,
like a
it's
lot of it. Yeah, really just stay true to who you are. You don't have to compromise yourself. And baby, if you like it, that's all that matters. Literally, F what these people have to say about it. Like, you're not going to be able to make everyone happy. And that was the biggest thing that I had to learn. Everybody ain't going to like your stuff, and that's okay. The people that are meant for you are going to flock to you. So,
exactly.
yeah, those are my biggest pieces of advice. And always, 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 it's better. I don't know what everybody's faith system is, but it's always better to do it with whoever you believe in versus not, but versus trying to do it by yourself because it's gonna
Right.
be harder. It's always gonna be harder if you don't keep a higher power first. Um, that's just my personal experience. So, but yeah, that's pretty much
Okay,
it.
well, I want to thank you for coming on, AJ. Can you tell everybody where they can follow you on social media?
Yes, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's all at Adia Joy, AdiaJoi. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm not on anything else, no Twitters or Facebook or nothing like that.
All righty. Well, that concludes this episode of N5678. It's your boy Vibes by Bray. Please be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at Vibes by Bray and stay updated on all of our latest episodes at N5678 Podcast. This is your daily reminder to always remember to dance like nobody's watching and love like it's never gonna hurt. As always, shout out to Kata Co. Streetwear for Dancers, Rager Worldwide LLC, and Felicity Digital Lab. Until next time.